There is a crisis in the economy, and we have a critical election coming up in just days. Hello, my name is Lowell Taylor. Everyone seems to want to know what the future holds. And because of that, I'm going to share with you a couple of tidbits of truth. Things that are and will happen in the very near future that you don't know and that you need to know. In 2009, I have a book coming out, and I have been working on it for about 10 years. I have found a significant link between the book of Revelation and the book of Daniel that has major implications to Iran, us here in the United States, and the world. Because of the circumstances we now find ourselves in, there is a portion that is covered in the book that I want to share with you today. It's too important to wait. Now, this is not a time for fear. This is a time for soberness, a time to correct our course, a time to become better, and frankly, a time to prepare because the events that I will talk about in regarding the Scriptures will happen. People can speculate on a number of things. However, God did not put a question mark on what I'll cover. Over the next few minutes, I just want to share what the Scriptures say that is matching with what is happening now and will soon come to pass, perhaps beginning next year. Also, a few weeks ago, the same day the Dow Jones average fell 777 points, I heard on C-SPAN testimony from senior minority leader Trent Franks, who said in essence, if you think this is bad, look at the horizon. And he wasn't talking about the economy. Yet, it does have to tie in with the book of Daniel. I have condensed his 30-minute presentation into a powerful overview, and I don't want you to miss it. Before I begin, I say again, I hope that you will not have fear. I hope that you can be sober, prayerful, and have a mind to prepare. After my presentation and Trent Frank's presentation, I have a few words of encouragement and suggestions. In the book of Revelation, John wrote about a beast that has 7 heads and 10 horns. An angel told John the interpretation of the beast. The angel said that the 7 heads have dual meanings. They represent 7 mountains and they represent 7 kings. Regarding the kings, the angel said, 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other, the 7th, is not yet come. Now note, when the 7th king comes, he must continue a short space. The angel went on to tell John that the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7th, and goeth into perdition. It is the 8th king that will go to fight against Christ and be defeated. So, there are actually 8 kings referred to before Christ comes back. In Daniel 11, Daniel also talked about a bunch of kings. In verse 2, Daniel talked about 4 kings. He wrote, And now I will shew thee the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, and the 4th shall be far richer than they all. And by his strength, through his riches, he shall stir up all against the realm of Grecia. Now this 4th king has great dominion and does what he wants. Then he gets defeated and his kingdom goes to the 4 winds and not to any of his prosperity. The next verses show that out of the Iran kingdom comes a kingdom of the north and of the south. After the king of the south dies, another king takes his place. However, after the king of the north dies, there are 3 kings that will reign. The last king is the one that goes to fight Christ when he comes back in glory. When you consider these successions of kings, there are 8, like the book of Revelation. In both cases, the 8th king is the king that goes to fight against Christ. Remember, in the book of Revelation, the 7th king only continued a short space. In Daniel 11, the 7th king here only lives a few days. Daniel and John saw the last 8 kings of the Persia area before Christ returns. With that being the case, it would be great if we could identify which, if any, of the 8 kings are ruling today. We would then know how many more kings to go before Christ returns. You may be happy to know that we are highly likely on the 4th king. That means we only have 4 to go. That is the good news. However, the fourth king does present a problem to us. I will tell you who the first four kings more than likely are. Back in 1935, the kingdom of Persia was changed to Iran. The first king of Iran was Reza Shah Pahlavi. He ruled from 1925 to 1941. The second Shah of Iran was Reza's son, Muhammad Reza Pahlavi. He ruled until 1979. The third king was Ayatollah Khomeini, who ruled until his death in 1989. And the fourth king is alive today, Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei. In the past 200 years, Persia, now Iran, has not stirred up any other nation and has been attacked in such a way as described in Daniel chapter 11. The fourth king now ruling, Ayatollah Khomeini, is far richer than the other three kings thanks to the oil revenues. Over the past several years, Iran has caused attention by its desire to make nuclear weapons, wipe Israel off the face of the earth, and similar comments about the United States. They are a great concern when it comes to terrorism. Is Khomeini the fourth king spoken of by Daniel? The true test will be to see if Iran stirs up another country to the point that the other country will fight Iran and Khomeini will be removed out of power and the country of Iran divided into at least two countries. Then we will have the true benchmark indicating that we are on the fifth of 8 kings before Christ returns. Let's take a closer look at the actions of the fourth king. Before Grisha, whoever Grisha is, takes out the fourth king, presumably Khomeini, Daniel said, "This fourth king shall stand up and shall rule with great dominion and do according to his will." There is more detail about this event. I have found that the battle between Persia and Grisha in Daniel chapter 8 is the same battle referred to here in Daniel 11. Daniel saw a ram with 2 horns. An angel told Daniel the ram represents the kings of Persia and Media. Pay attention to the direction that these kings push. Daniel saw the ram push westward, northward, and southward. So effective was their army. No other kingdom could effectively resist them. The king of Persia did according to his will. Until finally at last, Grisha, whoever Grisha is, comes from the west, not touching the ground, and stomps on the kings of the ram, and takes them out. And the rough goat is the king of Grisha. And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground, and stomped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. After the decisive battle, Grisha, whoever Grisha is, continues to grow in strength. This seems to be wonderful news. After Iran has pushed to the west, north, and south for some time, a country from the west is going to come and save the day. Then that country is going to grow stronger. Isn't that wonderful? It doesn't seem to stay so blissful for Grisha for long. Daniel then saw that Grisha, for some reason, is going to split into 4 kingdoms. That is where I'm going to stop as far as going into the future. What would have happened if Iran had tried that even 3 years ago? The United States would have decisively won. What would have happened if Iran tried it today? I think even though we are stretched, we could go over there without touching the ground and prevent them from pushing to the west, north, and south. The question is, what is going to happen over the next little while, and perhaps including up to even a few years, that is going to make it so that the United States is going to allow Iran to push to the west, north, and south?